Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Today is Saturday, January 21st, 2023, and my name is Elizabeth Spraggins. I am the founder of All Joy Inspired and the owner of a community called Digging from Darkness, Living in the Light. Now, Digging from Darkness, Living in Light is a community that we formed in order to help people who are feeling like they're stuck in a dark place find their way back to the other side, and find a way back to enjoying life and to enjoying the people and the places and the things that they lost touch with, maybe to find some new success. So today's topic is how to repair damaged reputation. Now, for those of you who know, there happens to be a major sporting event going on right now, and then there's another one right after that. So today's show is going to be not expedited, but we are going to include much more detail next week because my team, Philadelphia Eagles, are playing in about an hour and 15 minutes. So I got to get across town. So we're going to do the show. We're going to have a good time today. And we're going to add some new skill. I'm learning as I go, and I feel like I'm getting better at this as we go. So how do you repair damaged reputation? You screwed up. You messed up. You made a terrible mistake. Some of it's fixable. Some of them are not. Some of them you just regret, or maybe you're just embarrassed. But no matter what, if these mistakes and these choices or life events kind of bit you in the butt and you've now got a bad reputation and you wish people would just let you move on, how do you do that? How do you get people, whether it be the public, if you're in the public eye, or if you're, maybe someone who works with a group of people at the office or wherever you work, or if it's family, if you've done something that you're embarrassed about or ashamed of with your family members or friends, no matter what, if you screwed up and you want to repair that reputation or that relationship with others, this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to give you some really easy tips today. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. No matter how bad your mistake or regret is, it is possible to move on. We are going to have a good time today. So you guys stand by and get ready for some fun. And you've done something you really wish you hadn't. And now all of a sudden, people won't let you forget it. How do you get people to move past a mistake you made after you've moved on? So the first thing you got to do, is you got to take an honest assessment of what your reputation actually is. You've really got to dig down deep, and you've got to listen to the things being said, or you've got to see the words being written. Now, that doesn't have to mean that they're true. I'm just gonna give you an example. Okay, we're gonna go balls out, and I'm gonna give you an example. I was an adult entertainer for 15 years in one capacity or another. I worked in an occupation which a lot of people found distasteful, and those people included my peers and some family members and some people I had friendships with. They didn't think highly of the fact that I was an intimate entertainer. And when it came time for me to begin a new chapter in my life, some people didn't want to let that part go. They enjoyed the power of, well, you're a dirtball. You did this, and you did this for a long time, among other things. So if you're somebody who is transitioning into a new life and you have some pretty heavy stuff in your past, but you have a new life now and you're moving on, you need to listen to what people are saying. You need to listen to whatever that damaged reputation is. Pay attention to it. And these details are important because it's going to give you a starting place, a place to begin doing some repair. The reason it's so important for you to be honest about your reputation, no matter how painful it can be, is because you need a place to start. You need to know how bad the damage is that you're trying to fix so you can move on and enjoy the new life that you're living. It's important, very important, to be brutally honest. So there we are. Once you know where you start, then you can determine your destination. It's important to have a beginning point. Kind of like when you go on a road trip, right? Damage control. Unless you know where to affect change, you're not going to be able to make these changes of people's opinions of you long-term or permanent. There's no half-stepping this. If you're really going to do some reputation repair, you have to go to the ground level of it. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to talk about, now that you know how people see you and the reputation you have, it's up to you to decide what reputation you would like. Now that you know what your honest reputation is, now you know how your actions have caused that, now you get to decide how you want people to see you. You get to choose how to move forward to create your new image, how to do the damage to repair what you've done and to leave it behind you. So you got to be honest about where, what you've done in your past, or why people see you a certain way. Do you want, your friends, family, colleagues, or the public, in whatever manner that may be, do you want them to see you as a responsible, sober individual? If drinking was an issue for you, do you now want people to allow you to move on in life as a sober person? Or maybe you were kind of a D-bag. Maybe, your bad reputation is because you spent some time just not being very nice to people, not being very understanding, or being very generous with your time or assistance in certain matters. Or, like myself, I'm working on it as I go. Do you want people to see you as no longer part of an immoral lifestyle? Do you want people to see you as a more morally responsible individual? Now, these are very legitimate wishes that people have. Or maybe you're just kind of a screw up with money and with your jobs or responsibilities as far as being a grown up. Now, in your new lifestyle, do you want people to see you as more businesslike, maybe responsible with obligations or money? That's possible too. How about, do you want people to see you as a faithful or loyal person? If you are in a relationship, whether that be a friendship or something a little bit more intimate, and you made some choices which made someone or some people question your faithfulness, do you now want to be seen as a faithful and dedicated individual? Yeah, it's possible for that to happen. It's possible to move beyond bad decisions that caused some questions about your devotion to a certain relationship or friendships. Maybe you've just been one of those folks that began in life and you made some choices which landed you in trouble with the law. Sure, it's a part of your past. Who we were makes us who we are. And there's no need to be ashamed or embarrassed about it. You served your debt, you're now back in society. But now you don't want people to always see you as that person who screwed up, who got arrested or incarcerated. What are you supposed to do? You're working really hard and you want people to see you as a law-abiding, contributing member of society. Yeah, I totally get it. I do, I get it. Or maybe you've had some rotten decisions happening that involve you being open-minded. Now, myself personally, you do you, I do me, and as long as we're cool with both of us being able to do our own damn thing, I don't care what you do. If you're not hurting anybody, who cares? Some people don't feel that way. Some people feel the need to pass judgment on others and to force their beliefs on other people. Not me. But if that's something that you may have done and it may have caused you a bad reputation of being closed-minded and unwelcoming of people of different lifestyles or different situations, it is possible to move beyond that. Yes, it really is. So these are things that people are facing. These are reputations that some people get. Of course, there are others There are others, but these are the ones we're going to be addressing today. It is totally possible to leave your regrets behind you and to leave an image that you regret creating behind you. It is totally up to you. You can create this whole new life and this whole new idea of who you are. All you have to do is believe it first. Okay. So a lot of these situations that I was describing earlier, there's damage. There's damage done. So because of your actions or decisions, people's feelings got hurt, people physically got hurt, or people's trust was broken in you. We've already talked about step one, which is to acknowledge what the reputation is and to hear what people are saying. And step two is deciding how you want people to see you. And now that you know both of those, now you owe people an apology. If you haven't committed to rendering an apology, a proper apology for something you've done, if you've actually done that, we're going to talk about the other thing in a few minutes, but if you've actually done something and you accept it, yeah, I did it. It was a part of me. I did it. I'm not happy about it. I'm not proud of it, but I did it. What do? You apologize to the person or people that you've hurt. Why? Because they're not going to take your new lifestyle, your new personality, and your new vision of life or the way you should live it seriously if you are not going to condemn or dismiss the behavior which landed you in a hot spot to begin with. So look at my face. You apologize once if it's public, just once. If it's a personal matter or a matter between close friends or a group of people in person, that's different. But you need to apologize. And what is the format for a proper apology in situations which cause people harm? I mean, what do you do? If you hurt somebody's feelings and it makes you look like a D-bag, like an a-hole, how do you apologize to start the process of repairing your reputation? After you've taken responsibility for the problem that your behavior or choices has caused, then it's time to take the steps to render a proper apology, to make things right. Again, if it's social media, that's a totally different story. And we are going to get into how to manage damage control on social media. Yeah, that's a part of the show today too. But we're going to address both. A proper apology. It is important to acknowledge certain details in order to get your message across that your regret is real and that your actions are no longer a threat to hurt or injure in whatever way the relationship or person. So there are some things that we are going to do, and I'm going to put this graphic up for you guys, and we're going to talk about it in just a second. One of the biggest mistakes someone can make after doing something they deeply regret when it hurts someone or some people is to offer an ineffective apology. If you really want your message to get through that you truly are sorry for what happened and you are taking every measure and every possible step to keep it from happening again, there are certain steps to follow. This graph might help. It's important, and we're going to go over this again. A really good apology is one, waiting for the person to cool down enough or people to cool down enough. Usually, if it's just one-on-one, give it a few minutes, maybe a day or two. If it's a group of people, totally different story. Depends on the situation, really. But you have to determine if the person is ready to hear your words. but you got to test the water. And if you just want to go for it, the first thing that you're going to do is to acknowledge what you did. Be honest. You cannot half-step an apology. You can't. You got to say, hey, listen, I know this is what I've done, and don't make excuses. Don't offer excuses. Don't offer any reasons. Say, yeah, I was just as an example, I was in the adult entertainment industry. I was. It was something that I did for a long time. It was a part of my life, and it will always be a part of me. And there's never a but in an apology. Just let's say a different situation. For instance, you crashed somebody's car you weren't supposed to be driving. Admit it. Yeah, I drove the car. I crashed the car. And then the next step is to acknowledge how that may have hurt that person or hurt those people. Acknowledge those feelings. Just verify that, yeah, you are justified in feeling that way. So, for example, I understand I took the car without asking and I crashed it. I know how much this hurts the family that I did this without asking. You guys are really good to me. You trusted me to take care of your home and your vehicle while you were away on vacation. And me destroying your car has put a horrible burden on you and your family. That's the second part of an apology. They're going to be mad. They're going to be very angry with you, and that's okay. You have to accept that anger. If you've done something wrong, you have to accept it. Now, the next step is to, oh my gosh, here we go. One of the biggest mistakes someone can make after doing something. Okay, I'm working on myself. I'm not perfect at this yet, you guys, and I totally appreciate you being so chill about it. Whew, oh my gosh. The next part of an apology, after acknowledging how their feelings are very relevant and they're very justified, is to offer to make it right. And to make it right, to follow through and make it right. If you're not able to, like, say, replace the car, offer to lend them your car or something, that make it right in one way or another, and offer a reason why that behavior or that mistake is no longer a threat to hurt or offend. I've taken steps. I've taken steps to secure you guys another vehicle until this one can be fixed, or I've decided to leave the adult industry so I could be faithful to one man. I haven't been, and I will spend the rest of my life making sure that he understands how deeply I regret that, by showing him how much I want to be the only person in this relationship from now on. There are different ways that you can reassure people that your behavior is no longer a part of your present, that it is a part of your past. If you had a drinking problem or a drug problem, you could express that you are now actively involved in recovery services or counseling. Or if you were incarcerated and you are now living a different life outside of being incarcerated, you could express to that person or group of people, yeah, I did those things and it was a part of my life, but now I am actively involved in some therapy to help me understand why I made those choices. Whatever it is that you've done, repairing your damaged reputation has a structure we've got to follow. Now, that's if these things are done in person. Social media is an entirely different beast, and I'm skipping ahead again because life is awesome like that. But we're going to talk about social media in just a second. But after you've expressed your apology, and you're really sure that it was a really good apology, it was complete, it had all the pieces and bits and nooks and crannies to it, you want to lay low for a bit. You want to give your apology a chance to kind of sink in, let them think about those words, and really give them a minute to feel less of the sting. Think about how sincere you are. You are going to, oop, I got caught there. You are going to continue to do things while you're laying low. You're not going to go crawl into a hole. You're not going to hide in a dark corner somewhere. You're not going to disappear, but you're going to lay low. You're going to kind of back up a little bit, maybe not completely out of the equation, and you're going to continue to do things which are a part of your new life. You're going to continue to do things that prove that you have good character, that you truly are committed to living differently. And if you've made a drastic mistake, say an unfaithful event, you want to continue to do whatever it takes to prove that that is no longer a threat. And you also don't want to stop making the wrong right. You want to continue to help whatever damage you've created be recovered. So, for instance, crashing the car. You were house sitting, you drove the car without permission, and you crashed the car. It's a pretty messed up thing to do, but it's not unfixable. If you make a way to have the car repaired quickly, immediately, while they have another vehicle at their disposal, the damage is repairable. Now, there are certain situations in which there are lifetime ramifications for regrets that some people may have, but the instructions are the same. You've got to live in your new life as a better person, as a more focused person, as someone who truly is part of a new thing. Your past is just that. It's your past. It does not have to imprison you to the same in the future. You've done things. We've all done things. Shoot, if we're honest about it, everyone has done something they deeply regret. Everyone. No one is perfect. Some people are just more honest about their dark, than others. I'm all out. My stuff is all over the internet. I mean, sure, I could go into polite society and pray to God that nobody knows who I am, but the likelihood of that happening? No. So I got to be upfront about everything. You may not have to be, but if you've done something that you regret, own up to it. Own up to it, make peace with it, move on. And you do that by apologizing and by living in your new life. So you now have new and accumulating details of something that is not your past. And what I mean by that is getting a new job, volunteering with people. I'm skipping ahead again. I apologize for that. Now we are about to talk about damage control. Yep. After you've taken the steps to work on your own behavior and to apologize and make the situation right where it's possible, how do you protect yourself against the backlash which may come after you begin to improve your life or behavior? Well, I'm going to tell you. Woo! Okay, so I have all this written up and I'm kind of boring myself. So I'm hoping not to bore you guys. I'm going to go off script here. Okay, I've got all this technical stuff happening. We're going to go balls out. Okay, we talked about how to make things right. We talked about how to begin to live as a good person, to create new things for people to think about you that aren't involved with your past, such as getting a new job, getting recovery services, volunteering with charity organizations that have to do with something that was negatively impacted by you before. And that's if it's in person. These are things that you can do in person. Now you get to the nasty stuff. You have a horrible reputation, but in person, you're living a new way. You got these awesome things that you can share with people that, hey, I'm doing differently now. That's not who I am anymore. Social media, That's a whole different ball game. And it takes a special set of skills to master social media damage control. I'm looking right at you because I know there's got to be at least one or two of you out there who are just holding your breath waiting for me to fail. It's cool though, right? Because I do have a great new life. And you guys can do the same. Those of you who are out there who need social media in order to be a part of a business or the entertainment industry, or maybe it's how you stay connected to your friends and family because you live away from them. Whatever the reason is, social media is a whole different ballgame. So we're going to talk about this. You're not living in that nasty way anymore. You've made your apologies. You're creating new memories for people to celebrate about you. There's always going to be one or two who want to drag you back into it. They want to see you fail. They want to see you screw up so they can connect you to your past again. They might say mean and nasty things to you. They're going to post maybe pictures of you that aren't so awesome. Maybe they're going to make remarks about a crime you might have committed or a wrong that you might have done. Or they just want to remind you over and over and over again, in not very nice ways, of a life that you've moved past. Here's how you handle that. Fuck 'em. That's not the technical term I had written down for this, of course. But what do? People are a-holes on social media. But if this is connected to your income, you've got to maintain your composure. And here's how you do that. Block, 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 mute, mute, mute. It sounds simple, but what else do you do? Block and mute's not going to keep everyone from being a jerk. Cool, right? Okay. What do? Because you're living a new life, you're going to start sharing these things that you're doing. Yeah. You might have been arrested as a drunk driver once, and you might have caused some property damage, or maybe you've hurt someone. And enough time has passed that you're back on social media, and you don't want people attacking you for something that was a very long time ago. You paid your debt to society. So what do? You start sharing other details about you, the new you. Share pictures of your dogs. Share funny memes. Share stories about something that you saw or heard during your day. It doesn't have to be all about your past. You're trying to move on. There's more to you than something you want to forget, than something you want to let go. If you had an affair in your marriage or your relationship, you had an affair, and it happened a little while ago, and maybe some angry friends and family who haven't quite allowed you to let that be part of your past want to attack you publicly. What do? So what do? You say nothing. You don't acknowledge the comment. Or if you absolutely have to, here's what you say. It's not something I was proud of. It's something I did, and it's a personal matter. And my spouse or my partner and I are working very hard to move through that. It's something that is deeply important between the two of us, and it is not a matter of public discussion. That's it. Cut them off. Because the number one thing that a bully wants, the number one thing a person attacking you wants, is to elicit a response from you. They don't give a shit if you've moved beyond your past. They don't care if you're now a really good person, if you're the most devout and loyal partner. They don't care that you've been sober for 10, 15 years. They don't care. A person attacking you online, on social media, wants nothing more than to get a response from you that shows you are still that person. And the way that you are going to show them and prove to them that they're right is by engaging in an argument. Never, 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 never engage in an argument on social media unless you have the upper hand. And you only have the upper hand when you are totally over being affected by insults or attacked. When you're able to have a humorous outlook or perspective on it. But while you are still refining your new lifestyle, while you're still new to getting back into the swing of things, never, 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 never argue with someone online. Never engage in a battle with someone if you don't have to. 15 years, I've built millions of followers and fans online, and it is very rare that I engaged in a tete-a-tete in a stressful argument with somebody, because it does nothing but damage you. Arguing with someone and fighting with someone online does nothing but hurt your image, the image you're working so hard to build. Just don't do it. Don't argue with someone. Never get into a fight, a verbal fight with someone on Twitter. And another thing, okay? I'm like dead ball sober right now, I gotta tell you. Okay. I'm just so sober right now. I have to drive across town to watch Philadelphia games, so you guys are getting my best. You're always getting my best when I'm right here, and this is another thing you really don't wanna do, you really want to avoid is making your entire personality, your entire image about recovery. You don't want that to be the only thing that people know about you, because then they have nothing else to discuss with you. They have nothing else to talk to you about. There are other parts to you. Yes, your past is a part of you, but there are also these other wonderful things that you're doing. Maybe you went to the park that day and played with your dogs. Maybe you and your recovering marriage enjoyed a nice dinner out. Share these celebrations, share these new wonderful things with other people. If you were a sex worker and you are no longer a sex worker, share these wonderful new experiences you're having with monogamy. Fantastic. If you're newly rejoining society, share how wonderful it is to be free to go for a walk or maybe sit down in a restaurant. These are positive things. When you feed the public with positive ideas and thoughts of your life, they will have more and more positive thoughts to share with you about their vision of who you are. Next. Cool? All right. Next, very, very important. People's emotions. I don't want to say this the wrong way because it's going to make me sound like an asshole. People who attack you online, people who seek to harm your reputation or who have harmed your reputation, they operate based upon emotion. Fact and emotion are two totally different things. When people operate to get you to respond with anger or rage or shame, it's because they need to be fed that emotional response. But you know what else is an emotional response? Laughter. One of the most powerful tools you have in your arsenal is to make people laugh. It doesn't have to have anything to do with what you've done. It doesn't have to be a feel-good post about puppies or a date that you went on, or maybe you celebrated 5-year sobriety. It doesn't have to be something serious. The more you can make people laugh, the more they're going to want to be a part of your new life. They want to stick around because everybody loves to laugh. Everybody has a life that's hard at some point. And if you can make people laugh regularly by sharing funny memes, maybe sharing jokes that somebody else told, or retweeting a post or reposting a post that made you laugh, do these things. Contribute joy and laughter to the world around you and make it a part of your new identity, that these are things that you're offering to the world. Make people laugh. Or maybe some deep thought. Maybe you're thinking, Wow, I wonder how many stars are in the sky. And if I drew a picture of them together, would it, be the shape of the Philadelphia Eagles winning the Super Bowl this year? I got football on my brain. But seriously though, if you make people laugh, they're going to want to be around you because you make them feel good. Offer people things to feel good about you, and they're going to have less room for those negative memories or negative feelings. Okay, we are almost done. Okay, I think that's it. I'm a little scattered today. I'm doing this OMAD thing, which is 1 meal a day. Because ever since my doctor told me I was insulin resistant, I've had a really hard time losing this post-surgical weight. But I'm doing better now. Okay, guys, it is time for the Q&A. I'm going to pull up the questions now. Oh, my friend Ivan is here. Hi, Ivan. It's good to see you. Facebook user. There are instructions on last week's show, so I can see who you are. I can see your comment, but not who you are. You said, go Eagles. Now, this is very relevant. I want to be away from my family. I also have family members that are no longer actively a part of my life. One, because they treated me like shit for a long time. They were not very nice to me. And no matter how much work I've done to move beyond a certain image to them or a certain lifestyle to them, they're just always going to be mean and nasty people. If you need to be away from people who won't let you move on, even though you've worked your hardest to be in a different life, that's okay. After you've done the work and after you've made amends in whatever way you needed to, move on. There's nothing that says because you have a past, you have to be permanently punished for that. You got to be good to yourself too. It's Spaceman. Hi, Spaceman. Good to see you. You're a new face. We got Jamal Walker. Hey, Jamal. He watches after the game. I know, baby. I know. The second I'm done here, I'm going to haul butt him across Las Vegas on the highway at damn near rush hour to be able to get started. Thank God for TiVo, right? Oh my God, Chris is back. Chris is our resident bad boy who likes to have arguments with people who like to hit that report button. We all know who they are. You know who you are if you're out there. Hi, Chris. I'm so happy to see you, man. It's good to see you. Let's see, we have King of Bakersfield is making a specific request that is not available to you unless you are one of my students. Those video calls are available for my students or my clients. Lesson learned, Liz. It's almost cliche by now. I know it is, hon. But sometimes when we're frustrated and sometimes when we're really upset, small details that can be really powerful tend to escape us. Or sometimes when we're frustrated with it because we've had a bad day and we spent the day getting attacked online. Sometimes we just need someone to remind us, everything's going to be okay. Here's what you do. And that's all right. It's true though. Never get into arguments with anybody on any social media platform. But when you see you're my kind of person. There is nothing wrong. There's nothing foul about sitting back and watching a good argument, or maybe not attacking someone, but agreeing or disagreeing with points that are being made. At that point, it's just conversation, right? At that point, it's just conversation. Okay, we need to talk about Ari right now. Ari and I have been friends for several years. Ari is a Giants fan, so today Ari and I are not friends, even though we've known each other for like 10 years. Not today, Ari. Not today. Love you, man. You're awesome. All right, you guys. So that is it for the Q&A today. I am getting better at this broadcasting thing, and it's going to take me some time to truly be really, really good at it. So I appreciate you. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your kindness. Because I've made some pretty big changes in my life too. And it does not escape me that I have asked most of you to see me differently, to see me in a different way. That, yeah, for 15 years, I was a sex worker. I've learned a lot about life. I've learned a lot about people, a lot about human behavior and human psychology, and other matters which are important when trying to coach and assist people out of different places of darkness that they are in. So, who I was made me who I am, and what I'm doing now makes me who I want to be. And you guys can say the same. If you actually need a little bit more help, if you find that you need more guidance, Digging from Darkness, Living in Light is a group that is a community of people of different areas of expertise and life experiences who make it their purpose to share these informations with you. They exist on the platform simply to be a part of something bigger than themselves, so someone else can be lifted out of their darkness. And if that is not quite enough help for you, All Joy Inspired is a life coaching service. We offer guidance and other products available to you. But for now, I got to go. I got to rush home and get myself set up with another diet soda and the Philadelphia Eagles game, because Ari and I are going to fight. You and Ben too. Benny, I'm looking at you, Benny. All right, you guys have a great day. I'll see you next week at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time across all these platforms. Bye.